Hi there. Today I have a really big treat for you. I'm doing an entirely brand new start to finish full 1 hour tutorial on how to make this entire spread in my art journal. And I want to just show you how you can take a blank page and go through the entire process to fruition with a face. This is episode 3 in our face template and drawing practice, a series for mixed media art journalists. And you know, I totally forgot to introduce myself. My name's Karen Campbell. I'm a mixed media artist, and my job is to give you my best drawing and mixed media tips and tricks and techniques to make your life and your arting super easy so that you can have more fun. If you like this style of real-time drawing instruction, it's not something I typically do on YouTube because YouTube is more of a quick time-lapse, a different way of educating people. But if you prefer this real-time lesson experience, you might want to seriously consider enrolling into my mixed media society that I have over at Awesome Art School. Awesome Art School is my online school. I founded in 2016, and it is filled with hours and hours of real-time mixed media projects. The cool thing about it is, well, there's a lot of cool things about it, but one, it's actually like Netflix, where when you sign up, you have an entire library of content at your fingertips that you have instant access to. You can download everything right away, and there's everything from like beginner acrylics. So if you're not sure about how to blend and what the different mediums on the market are, and like color and composition, all of those lessons are there for you instantly. There's volumes of lessons in there. There's an Encaustics entire course, art journaling for beginners. There's my entire mixed media magic series that goes with my book. But then I also add new lessons every single month. So I only open my club memberships at Awesome Art School twice a year, and that will close as of Easter week. So now is the time to join. It's $18 a month. I'm not increasing the price. So if that is something that would interest you, if you really like this style of instruction that you're going to be getting today, that is how all of my classes are over at Awesome Art School. So I invite you to come get creative with me. If you don't like it, you can just cancel at any time. It's that easy. So I would love to see some new faces over there and just step up your mixed media game. So without further ado, let's get started. This face that we're doing today is based on the face template that we created 2 episodes ago. So if you want to go back and learn how to make your own face template, you can see the eye in the corner of your screen, and that will take you back to episode 1. If you have no interest in creating your own template and you would like to download and use mine, you're more than welcome to. Just drop a comment in the comment section below that says, I would like the face template, and I will drop you a link that will allow you to go to that and download it at your leisure. You don't need to leave your email address below. I will give you a link, and that will just enable you to download that directly. So without further ado, you guys, let's get started. All right, welcome back. We are ready to get started. I have my reference photo right here, which you don't need because you can just follow along with me, but I'm going to be using this photo from Pinterest. I love that hairstyle, and I love her eye makeup. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do a quick background, and then we are going to use the face template that I created last week. Just know that you can get this exact template that I'm going to be using right now, and you can print it off and transfer it into your art journals if drawing a face is too scary for you. So the thing that I'm going to be focusing on today is, remember, every week we're going to tweak a part, and I'm going to teach you how to incorporate faces into your mixed media art journal projects, but we are going to tweak the part. So we are going to keep everything the same, but we're going to do eyes, and I'll teach you how to do eyelashes, and we're going to worry about her hair, and also her eyebrows are going to be different. So we're keeping this part the same, and we'll change this part for our first lesson. So I want to make a quick background, and a really fast background is to just glue down a little bit of paper because it gets our color scheme picked out. I picked this gift wrap book up at Tuesday Morning for only $5. It has 24 super lovely gift wrap papers inside. I love the houses. So, you know, use whatever you have on hand. I'm just going to put a little bit around the edges, again, just to get the color scheme kind of picked out. and I'll time lapse this. I'm gonna be using matte medium. It's my favorite glue to glue down things. I'm just gonna tuck it around the corners. If you want a tutorial on how I do my backgrounds, I have another resource for you. I just did a whole series of art journal with me and we went over some easy backgrounds. And this is one of them, but you can also just watch me right here. So I'm just gonna put some around the edges as like a frame. In the recent episodes, we've talked about composition. I've given away cheat sheets. So if you want to go back and watch my art journaling series, I just finished that 2 weeks ago. I will put a link in the description box and I'll link it again right here in this eye if you need to go do that. Boy, it's a lot of catching up to do. I apologize for that, but I'm trying to make good resources so we can have lots of things to refer to. So I'm gonna just put some around the edges. I'm gonna throw some paint just to get the color going. And I always use the colors that are in my papers. So I'll choose, I don't know, colors that match those. And then we're gonna transfer the face and then we're gonna color it in. So let's get gluing. And then for paint, I'm just gonna dabble a little paint because this does not look good to me. So I'm picking 2 colors from my Fairy Faces Portrait series from Jerry's Artorama. Just use whatever papers and whatever paint that you have. I'm just letting you know what I'm using. So I want the paper to like peekaboo out, but I don't want it to be the main attraction. Which is why I can kind of paint the rest. It's very rare that I use an actual paintbrush for this step. I feel strange doing that. Kind of intentionally leaving it a little empty in the middle because that's where the face is gonna go. Also, while I was at Tuesday morning, I picked up this pack of washi. It weirdly matches all of the colors in that paper. It's like a total coincidence. You can kind of just, it's like literally exactly the right color. That's so weird. And awesome, but weird, but awesome. So I can kind of run one element into the next one. So this like ties my collage in with my paint. It literally is like kind of the perfect in-between situation. So as always, I prefer a center focus themed journal spread. Jeez, I can do actually this around the whole thing. Why not? So many fun things that you can do to a background. So this is just plain matte medium. All of the acrylic mediums have an adhesive quality to them. The washi tape definitely needs some adherence help. So in order to keep it down, you need to glue it down in some fashion. So I'm gonna let that matte medium dry and then we'll go into the next step. All right, now we're ready to transfer our face template onto our journal background. So but I didn't want to skip through the backgrounds because I wanted to show you actually how I would do one. So I have my transfer paper from Arteza that I do highly recommend, and you put the dark side down. I'm going to center her right in the center of the page. I'm going to just put a little bit of the top there because that helps me figure out where her hair is. I will transfer this. But her face would actually go down like this. That's another thing that we can very easily change, so just be aware of that. At one lesson we will change that, but let's keep it simple. So the objective of doing these projects is to, 1, build some muscle memory. So we're tracing these faces. You can also draw these from scratch every week. Last week I taught you how to get to this part on your own if you wanted to. I'm gonna leave off her eyebrows because those are super different. And the way, I'm gonna leave her nose and mouth the same, so I'm gonna trace those. I only want to tweak one thing or else it's crazy town. But her eyes are what I'm going to change this time. So I'm going, and it's not good when your face, when your face moves. Oh no, that's not good, but you can see it's transferring. Oh crap. Okay, be careful about that. Well, I'm just gonna keep going. So her eyes, like really circular, like you can almost see her whole iris. So this is very much swooping and swooping, not so much the shape that I have down. So that's what I'm gonna change. So mine will look like, let's see, we're gonna go here. At least I know they're in the right place. That's why we have the template to help us out. So I'm gonna make these much bigger and then coming down and then curve like that. And you don't even see a lid line, so I'm not gonna do a lid line. And then this one is the same, it comes up, and then down, and then, so we're changing. Yeah, her eyes, I'm not putting any lid, and then we're gonna draw the, they're off center because I moved my paper. It's so funny. And then we're gonna draw our own eyebrows on, and they're gonna be different than the ones we did last week. So get your pencils out. I have to move her eye over because, no, it should erase, but it might not. I moved my paper. Whoops. So I'm gonna just adjust that. First thing I'm gonna do, we need to kind of shore up her face. So I'm gonna come in a little bit on the temples. She's a very square face. And then we're gonna get her hair started first. So the temples I'm gonna come in at. I'm not gonna mimic her cheek line yet. Again, I'm trying to make this not crazy complicated. So I'm gonna go in again at her temples and then using the face space. And then her neck is here. And we can put her eyebrows in, actually. So her eyebrows, my face is still off because I moved my paper. I'm gonna like move this over. So you're supposed to have like the same distance from the eye to the side of the head. So I have to move that over a little bit. Just high ears. Ooh, now she looks like an elf. Oh, that's so funny. Oh great, the eraser is like caked into the lovely eraser. Okay, so we have the top of the head is way up here. Her hairline, so when you do hair, you have to pick the part first. So it's really easy if the style is in a certain way, the part is way over here. Obviously that's like a false part in real life. Her part's way over here, but that's okay. So we need to put that same, like find that same position over here. Here's the top of my head. So people that struggle with hair, listen up. You need to pick the part number one. Pick the part. Okay, I'm drawing this little distance. So hair has height up and over, and it also comes into the oval shape, which is why we need to remember and draw that oval shape for reference, because look how much space that is. That's like a lot. Plus, check that out. So we have this line here. This is really close to her head, so her head is here, and I'm only coming up a little bit for that part. And we can, you know, she's this little hair flowing here off the page. And then it comes here. She actually has like a very square headline, which does not really match up with our template, so I'm just gonna kind of improvise, have it coming this way a little bit. And then it comes up and above the oval line. So here's my oval line, and we're gonna come up. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit because we have to draw this wonky-tonky crazy thing. So I'm gonna skip over to this side for a second. We have this. And then, so coming out of this part of the hair, actually I think it's up a little bit further. This comes up and over. This swoops up and down, and then it curls in on itself. But then there's also this thickness, length of the hair coil, which goes all the way there. And if you can see that, the head, again, the volume is humongous, so it actually comes up here And then the roll comes all the way here. So if you can just try to see, this actually probably comes down more like this. It's a very big swoopy swoop. And then this hair is getting pulled up this way, all the way from her ear, all the way up. Okay, crazy. Aren't you so glad I picked the most complicated hairstyle in the world as our first one? But I want to show you just how to make it. I can't help it. I was inspired. We have our regular oval, which you can still see is in here. And you see this hair goes up over it, and then it also comes down into the face. And that will be every face. Now, she has a huge forehead, so my proportions are not awesome. So we need to kind of have this rounded here, coming down a little bit more, and then our coil will come even further down. And you see how I'm just drawing over and over my lines? And I think it comes to about here. And you guys, we don't have to like perfectly match the photograph. That's not what we're doing here. So we just do our best. It's all good. Just in our art journals, we're just having fun today. Fun on a Friday. Okay, so please don't, if you notice how many lines I have a lot of lines. And this one comes up here. So it starts somewhere in here. And it's not perfect. My vanish eraser. Okay, so wherever your starting point is, it's somewhere up in here. Whoop, whoop. So and this will just go cascading. But let's get the outline first. Whoop. And like all these hairs come up. So when we do our brush strokes, they'll come up like that. And then this goes here. All right. Good enough. I'm okay with good enough. I don't care if this is perfect or not. Okay, cool. And you guys go easy on yourselves. This is just for fun. Oh, I like her though in the background. She's setting up stage nice. All right, so let's get those eyebrows in. She has really curvy eyebrows. If you look, they're like whoop. And they're like very complicated. They're not the big bushy ones that are in vogue right now. In vogue, who says in vogue? And then this, I notice her eyes. Yeah, they really come down. And they're gonna come down and up. So her eyebrows they're starting off very close to her eye and they like worm down and then they kind of flick up like that. And they're like kind of crazy shapes. And she doesn't even have like a facial expression in her eyebrows, just have crazy curves to them. And then this one's over here. And this one is more like flat across and then it curves around. Thank you, girlfriend, for letting us borrow your wonky worm eyebrows. Super appreciated. Okay. So they look nothing alike on closer inspection, but that's just what it looks like in the photo. So she's gonna look sassy because they're different. All right, then we're gonna put her little irises in, which you actually almost see the whole iris. So you can have them just cropped off a little bit, top and bottom. You actually, on this one, you see the whole bottom of her iris, and then just the top is cooked off? What? Chopped off. Cooked off. What's bizarro? And there is like a tiny thin lid line, but it's all gonna get covered up with her makeup, so we don't really even need to put it on there. All right, now our nose. The only thing I'm gonna add is like some nostrils, but we can keep our Fun Fab drawn nose kind of just like it is, because we're only trying to change a couple of things, not the whole thing every week. So then I'm gonna draw the redraw the mouth, kind of what we had it last week. Okay, woo! We are cooking, good looking. All right, So now we need to pick our mediums. So what I would like to try to mess around with today, I'm so excited, is not to do like a full hamburger acrylic painting. And if you're like, hamburger, what the hell did she just say? Actually, I should say, what the heck did she just say? Somebody called me out for my bad language, so I have to be more careful. I have a potty mouth. I cannot deny it. This is a recent series I did on YouTube. It actually became a whole entire book. But this is like my classic mixed media system that has all these layers. So we're gonna do an abridged version of that. And we're gonna cut out the acrylic layer. I mean, we have the collage as layer 1. We have number 2, acrylic paint or gesso. I guess we do have that. We have that in the background as well. And then so water soluble 3s. I'm not gonna take it all the way up here. I'm gonna kind of stay down in layer 3 today. So that is basically like drawing with different things. So you can draw with either a water soluble material, which means when you add water, it will melt. Or you can do a permanent layer here too. So you totally have options. Today, I wanna try either doing gelatos and mixing them with gesso, or using like a watercolor marker. And these are equivalent to Tombows. These are just better because these are like archival and are really high quality, and they are like watercolor, true like pigment based, whereas Tombows are dye based, so they do fade, which it doesn't really matter. I don't really even care about that. It's interesting to note what the differences are. I know a lot of people have Tombows. They're super popular, so you can totally use those. So I'm just thinking out loud of what I might do. I think a lot of people have gelatos, so I'm gonna try gelatoing her. So what I'm gonna do is just to put down some skin tone, and I haven't done this in a million years, so I'm like a little nervous actually. Just gonna, with the oils for my finger, kind of activate these. This is, what color is this? I think it's peach, yep. Just gonna blend, get the blending party happening. They give a very nice soft effect, and they kind of go with my background colors too. Just putting like a thin layer. What I like about gelatos too is that you can make dark skin tones just as easily as you can make light skin tones. You just would grab some darker colors is all. Maybe we'll just have it fade into the beginning. This is cool. Sometimes less is more. You don't need to go full on hamburger every time. Although, I certainly do like to. I can't deny it. Okay. But sometimes it's like good to do different things. Okay, so that's just like the base of our face. Now we need to get a little shading going, because guys, don't be afraid. Now she doesn't have a lot of shading, so you can rest easy on this one. So you just take a darker color of anything here. I'll just use, is peach darker? Oh, I was just using peach dirt. I'm going to use this guava and give her some cheeks. I'm kind of looking at my reference. There's barely any shading on this one, which is also why I'm starting with this one to ease you into shading. So we'll go slow over the next few weeks so we don't freak anybody out too much and they won't come back. All right, so I'm just going to rub in some this cheeky. Now, just on a side note, because I might end up doing this, we'll see how it goes. I love to take gelatos and then actually brush in gesso, and it like will smooth everything out. But I'm going to try to not do that and see what we can do here. So usually along the hairline it's shaded, so go ahead and put some up there. There's some shading under her, well, I just said hairline, so we can just do that right now. So you like follow along the hairline and add some in. And then under the chin, this is like shading for super beginners because we're going really slow, not adding too much. We're not getting crazy dark colors, although we will in the coming weeks. But I will start you off with baby steps. And then we do need to create, the bridge of her nose is always created with shade and shadows. Let me add a little bit more gelato up here. So what we want to do is we want to just put some down around her eyes like this, because that is what makes up the nose bridge. Taking my stubby fat fingers and putting them, just mushing them around here. And as you can see, it's like this development of putting her on here that starts to give her a nose. And I like that the other color is like morphing through. I think that looks neat. And then there's shading under on this side of the nose with my giant fat fingers. And there's always a lot of shading under the nose because the nose is big and pointy and sticks out. So there's a lot of shading there. And then she's got a lot of shading under the chinny chin chin right here. I'm so resisting the urge to take a big old paintbrush full of gesso and gessoing the whole thing, but I'm gonna try to be not crazy. I don't know if I can keep myself from doing it, but I will try. So she has some nice shading everywhere. Oh man, I want to so add some gesso right now. It's killing me. Oh, please, can I add gesso, please? All right, no Karen. Let's add one more darker shade of whatever this color is. What is this? Melon. I think this is even like a metallic color. Oh, there we go. There's some definite cheek action now. Watch out. Just a little bit goes a long way for that one. Under the nose again. My fingers are so fat. It's so hard to get up in there. All right, now the only downside of gelatos is they're so stubby. You like can't really get detailed with them at all. So I'm trying to think about how I want to do her like color in her lips and stuff. All right, so that gives her some added drama. I know, I can't help myself. It's like I love shading. But these are the places to go. So we have her eyes, which create her nose bridge just by squishing some darker shades there. That's what builds up her nose. Ooh, yeah, we get to do her dramatic eye makeup, I forgot. And then we have the dramatic shading under her swirly whirly there and alongside here. So we have 3 colors of gelato all built up to give her this drama. Oh my god, I want to put some gesso on. All right, TBD if we do anything more for her skin color. I'm dying to add gesso. All right, so let's put some in her hair. I'm going all gelatos today. Bold. I'm feeling super bold. So I'm going to start down here. And because it's kind of dark at the roots, and then it like switches to the lights. That's all I'm going to put down here, and then there's some streaks there. Let's see how much we can do by just finger painting today. And there's something. All right, so that's all I'm going to do with that color. What is this? Oh, that was chocolate. This is gold champagne. Yes, bring it. Ooh, you know what? That looks just like that paper color. It's not the color I expected to come out of there. Just gonna streak it through here. Oh, I got some on her face. My bad. And then the last color is caramel. Ooh. Squooshing it around. Now I'm gonna see if I can just blend this all out with my finger. We'll see. This might not work, but it might. Mixed media is all about just trying things and really just play. Like, this is how I discovered my mixed media method, was just like trying new things and then like keeping the things that were successful and then getting rid of the things that were not successful. And then slowly after a couple years, I was like, oh my God, I think I found my thing and what works. That's where the mixed media, that's where the hamburger system all originated, was just my own trial and error. And, you know, like I just said, when things worked out, I would take note and do them again, and then I would ditch the things that did not work out so well. And like, there's no reason I couldn't be using a wet paintbrush right now to activate this. If you add water, it will do different things than just dry rubbing this with my finger. But I'm just kind of having fun, so just add a little bit of this. It's like a very soft, painty effect. You could also take like matte medium. Oops, it doesn't really go all the way over there. It was kind of right the first time. Whoopsies. You could take matte medium and run a brush with matte medium in it, because that would actually like then freeze it in place. Because if you do gesso with, like I keep saying that I want to add gesso, it will, obviously you're also adding the color white. So it will like wash everything back, but you could use clear gesso or you can use matte medium and put that in your brush and activate it. Now I'm talking about it, now I'm gonna have to show you what I mean. It's just my excuse to be able to go ahead and add it. You know, right? I'm the worst. Okay, let me try this butter. This is like yellow. Ooh, because her hair in the picture is like yellow. So let me show you what I mean. And sometimes I will even do like half gesso and half white gesso, so it's not like white sticking down. I know I have to show you what I mean because it's so yummy when I do it. All right, I wouldn't be a good teacher if I wasn't demoing. So I will show you what it looks like to do it with gesso, and I will show you what it looks like to do it with matte medium. So, oh! Just squeezed gesso and it popped out onto my face. Awesome. All right, so we'll do gesso first and then I'll show you the matte medium. I knew I couldn't resist. Sucker. All right, this is gesso onto the face, and I will start down here. And I don't use very much. I use like the tiniest bit on my brush because I don't want it to turn into like a full-blown painting, but you know how yummy it is when you blend gesso into gelatos. It's so yummy. Oh, it's so good. But again, I don't want it to be, I don't want the white to steal center stage. I want to keep the colors that I have, so I'm like barely using any. As I use too much. I just knocked some off on a paper towel that was next to me. So when I moosh this in, it's really like almost like dry brushing. Like there's just enough liquid on my brush to smear. Oh, to smear her hair into her face to blend the colors. Do you know what I mean? And like, see how it's getting colored now right here where I wanted it to stay white, so I can add white. This is why I have to be careful too, because the gelatos are water soluble, so they want to smear and blend when you add liquid, and gesso is a liquid. So it wants to be a good water soluble material and smear around. So that's why you use just a touch. Okay, it really looks lovely. I have no regrets. So I'm just using the littlest bit of gesso to just enough to blend it. I'm letting the blue paint go through. I'm getting that nice and blendy blend. It's like the most driest brush in the whole world. All right, you see how it all mooshes? Now, unfortunately, then you usually need to do more than one coat because now you've knocked back all the contrast, but it's a great way to layer up your faces and your mixed media projects. Gesso is kind of the bomb. I have a whole painting that I do with just having gesso, like painting everything in Stabilo and then just adding gesso to activate it all, to do all my shading. Maybe we'll do that next week. I can show you that. So again, the downside is why I was trying to fight the urge to do this is now you've washed out a lot of that color, but it's also really handy to know that this exists because if you make a mistake or you don't like how something looks, don't be afraid to use gesso very strategically to blend your colors together, or if something is too, like if you've made your shading and you're like, oh my God, it's too much, like you can always just blend in some gesso to like wash it out. So I'm gonna now go in with my matte medium and show you what it looks like to put matte medium over this, like the hair. Now this is just liquid clear with the matte medium, so it smears it out. Totally different look, right? I usually use gelatos over my acrylic layer, but it's cool to know what you can do with them. There's a lot of different ways that you can use them. So hopefully you learned something new today. So here's our swirly swirl. And again, just going back and getting more. So again, the liquid from the matte medium is activating the water-soluble gelatos underneath. And it's a completely different look than before. Not better, not worse, just different. It's nice to see the comparison. So I'm going to dry that with my heat gun and then we'll come back. I have to do another layer because it's too bleh for me. I need more. So I'm going to dry this and then we'll do more. So at this stage of the game, you actually have a lot of options. You can switch, well, you have 3 options. You can, number 1, keep going with gelatos or keep going with water-soluble medium. So that means you could introduce like Tombows on here. You could do more gelatos if you wanted to layer up the skin with gelatos. You could use water-soluble pencils like Inktense or watercolor pencils and then keep layering them. You can either layer that again and activate it again with your gesso in the matte medium, or you can switch to dry media or permanent things that are not going to move. So you can switch to just color pencil or pens or markers. So you can go, you're like at a crossroads right now where you can go left, water-soluble materials, or right, permanent materials. And really the choice is entirely up to you. And that kind of overwhelm is kind of why I also came up with the mixed media order of operations, because it helps in your head to organize, like, okay, where am I and what can I do now? So I could, if I wanted to, if I was doing my mixed media work, we did number 1, collage, we did 2, the background paint, number 3, water-soluble supplies, okay, that was the gelatos. Okay, and then I went back to layer 2. So before you hit the Mod Podge layer, I have videos and videos on this stuff. I will link it again. Check the eye in the corner right now. That links to my entire Mixed Media Hamburgers series on YouTube. But you can work in here for like all day long, and you never even have to do any of this part up here. So you can go back and work again with acrylic paint or gesso. That's what we did. We went from layer 3, which was the gelatos, back to layer 2, which is gesso. So you can keep in here, and then you can also keep up in here. But once you've passed the Mod Podge or sealant layer, you're blocked out of this part, really. You don't put gelatos on top of Mod Podge. You don't put watercolor pencils on top of your sealers. So it's like you have to decide when you want to stop hanging out and move forward, or if you want to just stay here and end your painting. So this is super helpful. I also have this actual cheat sheet available. You can just let me know in the comments if you want this cheat sheet in and of itself. So, and I just laminate, I actually just keep it right next to me. So this is where we have been hanging out. So I just need to decide, and when you're doing your projects, you need to decide, all right, we moving forward? We could totally seal this and then just work. So what comes after the sealing layer, you're asking, is we work with paint on top, or you can work with permanent inks on top, which includes like paint pens, because paint pens have acrylic ink in them, so that's great. So I mean, you still have a lot of options. You can paint, you can do ink, you can do ink markers or paint markers. And then you can go up into, this is like usually my favorite place to hang out, and I'm trying to vary it and introduce you to new things, which is why I'm trying not to just automatically do my system. I've done so much on this whole system before. So maybe with that being said, I won't activate it again, and I will stay under the Mod Podge layer for a while and show you what else you can do in there. I feel like that gives you the best kind of education, and it augments what we've done on YouTube and isn't just repeating the same thing over and over. So I'm gonna go ahead then and I'm gonna do my highlights and depth with more gelatos and vary this. Thank you for bearing with my explanation there, but it really is, there's so many choices with mixed media, and there are a lot of great ways, like successful ways that you can do your work that will work. So, but you have a lot of crossroads. Mixed media is a lot about it's a lot about experimentation and trying and seeing what works. And I know a lot of those things because I've just done so many projects. So I'm trying to bring them to you in a way that makes so much sense, and to save you all the heartaches and all of the things that have gone awry in my past experience, and just kind of keep you on track and keep you steering towards the things that I know will work. While also demoing things and opening your eyes to things if you maybe were not familiar with. I'm staring at this bucket of colored pencils. I think I'm gonna just dive in here. I never use colored pencils, and I have had some people recently ask me, so I guess I will. This is my window. Color pencils work great over watercolors. They work great over alcohol markers. They work great by themselves. I do not have the patience for, and these are not water reactive, these are just straight up color pencils. I do not have the patience for doing color pencil drawings. I want to like shoot myself. It's like super labor intensive. You have to do like 80,000 layers and like burnish, and I don't have the patience for that. So I don't do straight up color pencil drawings, but it's awesome to layer with other materials. I'm using the side of my pencil just because I don't want to make like marks. I want to make kind of broad shading marks. So I'm going back to the areas that we shaded that got lost when I added the gesso. The downside of this heavily textured paper is that it's heavily textured paper. So it picks up on like every little nook and cranny of my pencil, but I do love texture, so it's kind of all good. But I'm using the side to do like a larger swath of color in the same exact areas that we had done before. And this is nice too, it kind of brings back the look that we lost when I added the gesso. I'll try it also. You can see when I zoom in a little bit, you see how it's a different look. And you can still like gesso again if you want to. Like you can just layer to your little heart's content. Again, just figure out where you are in the burger system and where you can keep working. So I'm just gonna stay under this Mod Podge so I can keep working back and forth between all of these. I can add more collage, I can add more paint or gesso or any of these other either permanent or water soluble materials. You can flip flop to your heart's content within that layer with no problems. So that's also nice to be able to like sit down and have like at your art table and have like full confidence that what you're doing is not going to screw up what you're doing. You know, that's kind of what I always think of my job as YouTube is like, I'm really here to try to make your life super easy so that you can just have more fun. I know I say that all the time, but I really do like that where I'm coming from. Because like Bob Ross, like he spread joy. He's like my idol because he like spread so much joy, but he spread it joy because he was teaching art in a way that like anybody could do it. And then he made it accessible. So like it basically was like opened up the party to everybody to be able to have fun. And I am so on that same exact path. Like if I can make somebody have a better day because they got to art for a little bit, like that's awesome. Like, why wouldn't we want everybody to have that opportunity to have joy in their life? So if I can make it easy for you, like I'm like, my job here is done. I just know the positive effects that art can have. Like, why wouldn't we want everybody to do it together and have fun? I feel bad for people that don't have like hobbies or don't understand like what a creative outlet can do for your soul. It's like, it like changes lives. Okay, Cool Beans. She is rough and ready. I've never used these pencils before. Yes, I am an art supply hoarder, as most of you are too. So I've had these, I don't know, probably over a year. I've never used them before. That's shameful. All right, but hopefully you're following along with where I'm shading and it makes sense. Around the eyes, that gives us the nose, okay? And I'm just gonna keep this all real time. I know YouTube videos are not supposed to be longer than like 5 minutes, but screw it. Here we are. All right, now I do need to like start outlining her and like getting the details hammered home. So that being said, 5 minutes or no, we don't want it to be 5 hours either. Okay, what is this? Chocolate. I'm gonna string some chocolate strands through her hair. You know, that's funny because I think chocolate was the name of that gelato as well. So I'm just adding in, I hate the lack of detail. It like drives me crazy. So I'm kind of an outliner. So this allows me to get my outlining fix. So I'm just taking it and I'm just following the lines of her hair. I should look back at my reference. Yeah, this goes, you know, more or less. Boom. So stringing through some individual strands helps make it look, I don't know, better to me. Better in my eyes. So you can keep the background mushy part, and then just add in some individual strands. And then we can call that a day. So you like outline this roll. I wish I hadn't gone so dark. I don't know if I can layer on light strands. I don't think they show up. Oh, they kind of do. So there's some lighter. I really like these Derwent pencils. They're very, oh, that's pretty. They're very soft and buttery. Kind of go along with the gelato theme that we got going on. Now I really want to like outline her eyes. They're bothering me. She also has all this dramatic makeup, and that's what I actually grabbed the reference for. So I'm going to do it. We also need to get her eyebrows in there. She has really light eyebrows. I'm going to do like a light brown. If you do like, I can't always do these long tutorials on YouTube, but if you do like real-time mixed media lessons, I do have the Mixed Media Society on Awesome Art Schools, the art school that I own. I don't really talk about it too much, but I am closing enrollment in Easter, the week of Easter. So, and it won't open again until Halloween. It's basically when you sign in, after you join, it's $18 a month. It's like Netflix, where you get like instant access to like a whole ton of stuff, and then you can, and you have instant download capabilities for the whole thing. You get instant access when you join, and then which is a ton. It's like all my acrylics, all my encaustics, all my mixed media courses. It's a bundle of all my past courses since 2016. It's like chock full of content, and then I add on lessons every month. But they're like this, they're all real time. So this is like this series that I'm doing is kind of a sneak peek into what I always do over there in Mixed Media Society. All right, so she has this dramatic, like, I was gonna say, is this even faded off? No, I mean, she's got like serious dramatic eye makeup on. It's like her sweet 1940s hair, and then we have like a little bit of whorish makeup. Oh. So I might have to add some pen. I have a hard time without having really definitive like lines. It bothers me. I don't know, that's just personal preference. But I'm trying to draw in what I see, which is massive makeup. But then she also has eyelashes coming off of there as well. But that's how she looks. That's so funny. That's really how she looks in the picture. All right, I'm gonna I need to dramatize this. All right, and I do think oh no, Tippy's coming for snuggles. Hi, Tippy. I do think we need to add some pen. I'm going to add some more shading on her nose. And her mouth. Hi, Tippy. Oh, my cat is loving my legs right now. So I do think I'm going to have to bring this home with I have to use like a gel pen or a Pitt pen or something to for her eyes. Hi, Tippy. Oh, you love me. Can always use more gelato. All right. Let's see, what do we want to color in her? We have to do her lips and her eyes. Maybe we can use this. I'm dying to use my watercolor pencils, so I'm gonna stop fighting it. I'm just gonna use it. Can't stop me. So I'm gonna do a little bit there and a little bit up here. Oh, and you know what? I'll activate that with some matte medium actually, because that will smear it. These are super water soluble markers, but then it'll also kind of lock it into place. Oh, I wonder if I can also smear it. Oh yeah. like smear it around the eyeball a little bit. Blend that in. Oh yes, I can't help myself. I'm a blender. Again, like just a touch. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I stepped on Timmy. I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. Come here. Oh, boo boo. Oh. All right. Now we're talking. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Use a little bit of matte medium to activate the eye. Ooh. All right. So now I'm just having a blending heyday with my matte medium. Because I can, because I just feel like it. Yeah, isn't that nice? I love art. You just do it whatever you feel like. It's kind of picking up on like the layers underneath it. Alright, and I'm just about to add some details and we can call this a day, call this done. I like totally forgot about her mouth. I'm using the same marker, but in a different color. And I'm just gonna do that much because I think when I add the matte medium, it all spreads around. So while I'm still haven't Mod Podged over anything, I'm gonna go around with my markers and I'm gonna add like just details. We're almost done. Of like golden, you know, the Winsor & Newton markers don't come in that many colors, but like when you have them all, you kind of have all the colors that you'll need. They do such a good company. Oh, yes. All right, I cannot wait to finish her up. While I have that stuff out though, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna streak a little of this like color, like kind of bring it back. I covered it. That is a nice, it's like the same color that I started out with a paper collage. Ironically, I'm like back to where I started. So I'm just gonna add that back in. Repeating your colors in the outside that are in the inside really solidifies your composition. Supplies layer up just beautifully. So don't be afraid to keep layering them up if you want to. So that's like a super important lesson. You never have to like stop, and you have so many options actually. So instead of doing the Mod Podge layer, I'm just gonna scribble the rest of the details with a gel pen. Okay, which hopefully survives this scribbling because there's so many products down here. This is just, I love a fat, it will have a little bit of a tough time over the gelato layers. But I love to draw as much as I love mixed media. So I try to be able to do both in my projects. Like you can even give her little eyebrows, hair. This is, I love these. Are Uniball Signo, but in black, and then it's a 1mm nib, so it's nice and chunky. All about a chunky nib. Okay, so we finally get a pupil going on this poor girl who's been pupilless, and then her eyelashes are huge in the actual photo. So when you get to the midpoint, you switch directions. So we go this way first. And eyelashes are also different lengths. So don't be shy or sad if yours are all wonky. Actual eyelashes are totally wonky. And they're made up of all different lengths. So go for it. I also have an eyelash cheat sheet, but it talks about basically you can have, I'm trying to find it, it's in my mess of other cheat sheets I have around here. You have varying lengths. You consider it like a parentheses. So you have them like a parentheses this way and this way, and then they switch when they get to the middle. So it's like this way. And then they get to the middle, they're straight up, and then they switch directions. And they're all different lengths, and they're all wonky. And then it's the same thing with the bottom. It's like the parentheses are here and here, and then they go this way, and then they hit the middle, they switch directions. So if you need a cheat sheet on how to do eyelashes, I got you there too. So I have like a mega cheat sheet pack for art journaling, one for mixed media and one for drawing faces, basically, is how we break that down. A little something for everyone. And I am gonna put like highlights in her eyes so they're not as wonktastic as they are right now. And then her nose, and then we're gonna put her lip dippy thing back together. So it's like a nice sketchy look, which is very different than the kind of bold Pitt pen that you're used to seeing me use. We tried the crazy makeup from our reference as well as her crazy hair. Our gel pen is fighting to stay alive over all of this crazy media that we have down. Sometimes you need a little doodle, you know, doodling on her hair. Since the gel pen is like, can't quite make it through all those layers. You can even do some shading doodles, get crazy. Always add more eyelashes. You can never really have too many eyelashes, really. Doodle shading on her hair. Sometimes I get a little carried away with my gel pen. And I'm not sorry. All right, now we just need some white highlights and we are done. So here we go. We're gonna put some white highlights. Let's see here. She can have one there. Just use a white gel, just use a white paint pen. Just there you go. Nose. Maybe we can have one on her bottom lip here. Boop, boop, boop. There's one on her cheek. On her cheek over here. You add some lovely fun highlights. So we changed so many times what we were doing, but like, who cares? And finishing effects include running my stamp ink pad around the edges, also adding some of the hair color all around the edges where the washi tape was, and also using a decorative stamp to add a little bit more fun scripty patterns in the background, and then you're pretty much good to go. So I'm gonna use my spray sealer, which is the last acrylic spray varnish sealer. Again, check out that hamburger series to understand what I'm using and why for actually all of these layers. I have their own video that goes along with them. So I will be using my acrylic spray sealer.